Did someone say coffee? Maybe a mocha frappuccino? Today I have whipped up the ultimate coffee lover's cake. We have beautiful white chocolate mud cake layered with delicious mocha buttercream. I've got a little bit of fake cream happening on top, as well as some little chocolate drizzles and a cute little edible straw. Now you want to go ahead and bake 2 6-inch rounds and 2 7-inch rounds. Both of them are fairly tall. I've cut each cake into 2 layers that are 30 millimeters each, which is about 1.25 inches. So this is going to be a pretty big cake, but that's exactly what I'm looking for. So I've got myself a 5-inch round cake plate as well as a 6. And the reason why I'm using a 5 at the bottom and not a 6 like our cake is that we need to be able to taper this down really nice and small. And so you always need to bake them a little bit bigger. Now because the cake is so tall, it's going to need some dowels, or otherwise the top is slowly going to crush the bottom. So I have some wooden dowels, a pencil to mark out the height, and my favourite conduit cutters. I've used those a lot in the tutorials. They're really great for cutting wood and it just makes it so easy. Now as usual, I've listed all the recipe links in the description box for you below. I've gone for a white chocolate mud cake and I am filling it with beautiful layers of mocha sweet buttercream. Now this is probably one of my favourite buttercreams. It has a little bit of cocoa in it as well as some brewed coffee that's been cooled down, and it makes the perfect icing to go with our mocha frappuccino. So I'm going to start with my 5-inch cake plate, and I'm going to take one of my 6-inch round layers, flip it over just to make sure that it's definitely in the middle. Bring it back, and then we can add that delicious buttercream. Now you want to go ahead and add a 3rd layer of your 6, but you're not going to add a 4th because we want to save that 4th one to go on the very top. So we're going to add one of our 7s, and again I find it easier to flip it over and just make sure that you are in the middle. So now to be able to place this on, we want to go ahead and put the dowels into the cake right now. So I'm going to take one of these, mark out some spots to put the dowels in, and then run one dowel straight through all of those holes. Okay, now place it in backwards, or really the right way that you want it to be. Take a pencil and mark where it is. Then we take our conduit cutter and give it a little trim. Now I'm going to use this one as a guide, rest it on my bench, run that through. And the reason why you use one of them as a guide rather than measuring them all is that you want them all to be the same height, because you want to make sure that the cake is level, and if it's not, you want to use this time to make it level. Okay, and then we push them all in to the cake. Perfect. Now I'm going to do a little smear, not too much, just to cover over those. You don't want it to be a full filling layer because otherwise it will squish and move around, and then the cake still has movement, and that's what we just spent all that time trying to avoid. So make sure that it's nice and flat, and then you can place your cake plate on. And then we're going to take more of our layers and keep stacking it up. And then this one, you don't have to go all the way out to the edge because we're only putting that 6-inch cake on top. All right, press that down and then get rid of that because that'll be good for our crumb coat still. I am not going to waste any of this mocha buttercream, I can tell you right now. Okay, now the best way to tackle this carving, I find, is to figure out exactly where you want the cup to end and our beautiful frothy cream to start. So I'm going to go for about probably the top 2 layers and maybe just a little bit of this 3rd layer as the little frosting, and then the rest I want to be tapering down. So I want to start on that first, and the easiest way is to flip this puppy upside down. Okay, so I'm going to want to go ahead and just create a little bit of a line for myself of where I want to stop the carving. So I'm going to start at the top and fan my way out and stop about there. It doesn't matter, you don't have to be all the way at the edge. We don't have to be at a 7 or anything like that, but we just want it to be nice and even. Just go around and do some little contouring bits just to make sure. And do you see how much easier it is working from a smaller to a larger rather than having to cut away and not knowing exactly where you're going? So I always turn things like this upside down for the first little shave down. Okay, and now we can flip it back over and we can start from where we want to and just shave it in the tiniest bit so that you can really see this board. Okay, now we can get started on the top, and the best way is to just start to shave off some of this just to get the angle, and then blunt that off as well. And you want to come in a little bit more and really start to line up that angle. Now I'm going to switch to a steak knife just to make the carving a little bit smaller at a time. You want to carve away, because right now it looks like a soft serve ice cream, and we want it to be a little bit more pointy than that for the cream. And now you're definitely going to want to stick this into the fridge for about 15 minutes or so that it's really, really nice and chilled. And then you can get it out of the fridge and start applying a crumb coat. And once that's done, you can start on the top. And then pop it back into the fridge for another 15 minutes. So I'm going to apply my buttercream to the sides of the cake, and then I'm going to use a scraper to scrape it back and make sure it's nice and smooth. And the fantastic thing about this is that you don't have to stress about making the perfect shade of mocha, cappuccino, frothy, whatever, because it's all down to the cocoa and the coffee. No food colors were added, and that makes it really easy for you guys to create it exactly the same as me. And then using your scraper, you just want to scrape it all back. And then you want to just come back and scrape that up and off. Now I'm going to go ahead and add it to a cake board. Just a little bit of buttercream. Get some airflow. There. Hold onto the board and release. Nothing says that it's a mocha frappuccino like putting the perfect coffee logo onto our cake. Now I went ahead and I made a 2.5 inch and a 3-inch one. And the reason why I did that is because when you're making a sculpted cake like this, if you try and measure out this, print it in one size, and then make the cake match, it's really, really hard, and 9 times out of 10, you get it wrong. So I thought I'd just cover my bases and do a couple of different sizes, do a couple in case I muck anything up, and that way you would know that you're gonna get the perfect logo on your cake. Okay, get the tiniest bit going. And then just give it a little wriggle. Give it a little rub and a press. Make sure you got no air bubbles. Pretty fancy. Looking pretty fancy already. But we're going to top this with some gorgeous frosting. Now I have some beautiful, almost white frosting. You know how I feel about using real butter. I like it. I don't want to have something that's all shortening or anything like that. So I used half shortening, half butter. Then I put in a little bit of whitener as well as some Regal purple, and the purple really helps to counteract the yellow. And I'm fairly happy. It's so close to white, it's not funny, but I know it's still going to taste really good. So now I'm going to take a 1M piping tip and a disposable piping bag, and we are going to pipe this baby up. So what we're going to do is work all the way around here and spiral and spiral and spiral and spiral until we get into the middle. And then using a little bit of thick and rich chocolate topping, we're going to add a drizzle to the top of this fake cream. Add a little dollop of cream to the base, and then again, a little bit of our topping. Very carefully. Now I'm taking a little bit of green modeling chocolate as well as a dowel, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap the dowel in the modeling chocolate. Just fold it over and roll. Now on the top, I've gone ahead and made sure that the modeling chocolate comes up a little bit high, and then I'm going to use another dowel. I'm just going to push it up. And that way it'll be a little bit hollowed out at the start, so it'll look like a straw. It'll have that little bit of shadow about it. I'm going to use another dowel to just mark out the hole. Okay, now we're going to take our straw and place it in. And that's it. We have our Mocha Frappuccino cake. It's perfect for somebody who loves a good coffee. I really love the fact that we've done a mocha buttercream, so there's no need to tweak the colors. It's just the mocha itself. So easy to follow, and that's what makes these kind of cakes so cool, is that it looks dramatic, but it's actually a lot easier than you think. If you make this, remember to hashtag cake style, because we love seeing all of your guys' creations. Thanks for watching, guys, and happy caking.